So he surprised me and like snuck this in and then gave it to me. A lot more access to international authors than I feel like I do in the US. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to share with you my bookish days in Athens, Greece. I just got back from Greece where I spent a couple of weeks with my partner who is from Athens, where we spent time in Athens as well as some of the Greek islands off the coast. And I will be sharing more of that with you in the coming days. But our Athens trip this time, this is not my first time there. We kind of had done all the touristy things and I really just wanted to do real life there, like what it would be like if we lived there and we were there together. What would we do on the weekend? And so that's what we did. I also got to meet up with one of my booktube besties. And so stay tuned for that. Our little girly date out, we also had a bookish day. Basically, we stayed in a little hotel downtown right before we were leaving to go on the ferry to go to the islands. And we didn't plan it this way, but we ended up staying right in the like university district. And there happened to be a couple of publishing houses there, like Greek publishing houses, but also there were so many bookstores. Like I've never seen so many bookstores in such a small like space. So we went to 11 different bookstores over Saturday and Sunday. And then when I met up with my booktube bestie, we hit up 2 major bookshops that had English books because not all of those bookshops had English books. A lot of them only had Greek books, but my partner can read Greek, so we spent time in all of them. Bestie and I went to 2 of the bigger bookstores that sell English books and have like a good selection. And then we also went to like a book cafe, and she brought me some gifts. I brought her some gifts as well, and then we like exchanged some books. And so I will share that with you after the vlog. But yeah, let's get into it. I hope you enjoy spending a few bookish days with me in Athens, and let me know in the comments if you would like to see more vlogs from the other parts of my trip, like the islands and everything else that we did there. Perhaps I will share that as well. And then afterwards, stick around for a haul and I will show you the things that I got while I was there exploring Athens. All right, let's get into it.
To downtown Athens to go meet up with my book friend Poppy. If you don't follow her, you should go follow her. I'll link her below. But we've been friends through Booktube for like a year and a half now, and we're meeting for the first time because she lives here in Athens. So I'm really excited. We're gonna spend a day together and vlog it and see what we get up to. Hi! Yay! Hi! Oh my gosh! I know! Hello! Okay, friends, I hope you enjoyed that little montage of Athens. There's so much to do there, and it is such a giant city with so much history. But like I said, we really just focused on bookish things during this trip because that's what we do in real life. Even when we're here at home, we like to go to bookstores, we like to go to cafes, we like to drink our coffee and just hang out. And yeah, we had a good time. So let's get into the haul.
So first of all, I had so much fun meeting up with my bestie Poppy. And since my partner is from Greece, we go back there every summer, or at least like once a year, to visit his family and friends. And last year we missed each other. She had a wedding. She was out of town while I was in Greece. And so we've been looking forward to this summer for a year where we could finally meet up. And so we spent a whole day together. It was so wonderful. You guys, she's the best. She got me some gifts. And so when I first went to meet up with her, she handed me a little gift bag, and inside, I will show you on the screen. Right now it's dirty, so I can't show it to you, but this beautiful, like springy yellow mug that is the perfect size for tea. So I love like a big mug for my coffee, but when I drink tea, I like to have a little bit smaller ones. Anyhow, so yeah, she got me this mug, which was to remind me of my sunny summer days in Greece, which I just love. And then she got me some teas from her favorite tea shop. They are in Greek, so you can't read them, but they are beautiful and they smell amazing. I cannot wait to drink them. I am going to try this one out this week. So this one is a green tea and rose. And look, you can even like see the little rosebuds in there. And I love green tea. I love green tea. So it was very thoughtful. And then this one is apple, cinnamon, and white tea, which I also love. So I'm really excited. And this one looks like this. So yeah, so thoughtful. Thank you so much, Poppy. And then she wanted to take me mug shopping because I love mugs and she loves mugs, and it's something we bond over. So in addition to going book shopping, she took me to go mug shopping. And I ended up finding this mug at Starbucks because we looked and I just could not find another mug that I wanted. Athens, Greece here. And then it has like all of the ancient archaeological sites here. So like the Parthenon's up here. Greece is very mountainous. There's little palm trees because there's palm trees all over. And I do have a few other destination mugs from Starbucks and I love them. So now I have one from Greece to add. So thank you for that, Poppy. Right now I have my coffee in it. So good. It just tastes so much better in a mug from Greece, right? Okay, let me show you what I got. First, I'll go over the books that I got with Poppy. So she was so sweet. She took me book shopping. She wanted to buy me a couple of books to like remember her and remember this trip. I just really appreciated that. So the first bookstore that we went to was called Politia, and I went to the same bookshop with my boyfriend while we were there as well. So I'm going to show you a few other books after this that I got from that little shop. But when Poppy and I went, she like let me pick out a couple of books that she treated me to, which was so sweet. And one of the books that I picked out was Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I've already read this book, or rather I listened to it on audio, but I have all of her other books and I wanted a physical copy of this one. I didn't have it yet. And I just loved this European cover. Like the UK cover is just like, I just love it. I like it so much more than the US cover. And so I was really happy to get this edition while I was in Europe because we can't get it here in the US. So that was really exciting to me. And then the other thing is this copy of There Are Rivers in the Sky by Elif Shafak. And I haven't read this book yet, but I want to. I like this author. Yeah, this is her newest book. In the US, you know, we come out with hardcovers first and then we come out with the paperbacks afterwards. But in Europe, they release the hardbacks and the paperbacks at the same time. But generally, once they sell out of hardbacks, they're out. So this is an author that I've been collecting their paperback books, but I have been unable to get the paperback copy here in the US. So when I saw it in Greece, I was like, that's it. I want to get that book. I've been wanting to read it, but I wanted the paperback copy. So I was very excited to get this. It's so beautiful, and it matches all of her other books that I have. I got one other of her books that I'll show you in a minute. And then finally, we went to another store called Marks and Spencer. We were mug hunting and I didn't end up, unfortunately, finding a mug there, but I did find tea. And so then I also got this box of tea, Compliments of Poppy. It is the Marks and Spencer, sticky toffee flavor rooibos infusion. I don't know how to say that word, you guys. I've never seen this before, but I saw a couple of teas there that had the same thing in it. So if you know how to say it, tell me. I don't know. Also, I had like a small procedure, like surgical procedure done in my mouth. And so if I'm talking funny, I apologize. It's still healing. I have stitches in my mouth, and yeah, it's been a little bit difficult to talk, which is why I didn't get to this sooner. But it says, indulgent and Moorish with notes of rich caramel, perfect with a splash of cream. It comes in like little silk tea bags, which are so nice. And it says that they're called silken pyramid tea bags, and they are compostable. So I just love it. I love things that are like good to the environment. So I have already tried this one. It is delicious. I actually just tried it with like a little bit of honey in it. And ooh, it was so good. I'm really looking forward to drinking this tea this fall. It's going to be fantastic. So that's everything I got while I was with Poppy. Actually, I also, at the very end, she had to jet, but I ran into the H&M in Athens, and I ended up picking out these earrings. Aren't they so cute? These little bows. We have H&M here, but I just wanted to see what they had in Greece. They definitely have different fashion. So like what's available at the Greek H&M is different than what's available at the US H&M. And then I also went to Zara's as well, and we can order from Zara's online here, but we don't have physical stores. So I was so excited to go to a Zara's store. Like, I was really excited about it. I got a few other things there, but I'm not going to include it in this haul because they were like clothing items and some more jewelry. But yeah, let me show you what I picked up at the bookstores while I was out with my partner. We went to a Greek bookstore where the only thing they had was Greek books. So they had a lot of like books translated from other authors into Greek, which is fantastic because I don't think any other publishing houses are providing US like English books into Greek, because Greek is such a unique language and such a small portion of worldwide consumers. As I said, they do have a few publishing houses there, like several. They actually have several that we saw. And so I think a lot of those publishers focus on bringing in books from international authors, including like the US and the UK, and then translating those books into Greek. So we went into this Greek bookstore that was actually store of the publishing house. So like the publisher was nearby, and then they had a store like next to it that was quite large. They had quite a large selection of Greek books, and I had fun going around and seeing if I recognized any covers. I played a little game while he was looking at books, because he speaks and reads Greek, you know. So he was looking at books and I couldn't read anything because I don't know Greek yet. And I was just going around trying to find books that had the same covers, but then I was also doing like cover buys, like, ooh, what books do I want to read just based on what the cover looks like, since I cannot read the Greek title that's on it and I have no idea what it's about. And then I would ask my partner to like translate it for me. So some of them were English books from the UK or the US that had been translated into Greek and just had different covers than we have in the US, but some of them were Greek books written by Greek authors, and so we just don't currently have them translated into English. What I loved about the bookstores in Greece, and it's probably true for Europe in general, but I haven't spent that much time shopping for books in the other places I've been. However, what I noticed is that they have a way bigger selection of translated works than we do in the US. So our translated works section is quite small compared to all of the bookstores in Greece. It's probably because the publishing industry is really big in the US, and we have enough books written by authors who speak English, so American authors who speak English and write their books in English, that sadly I feel like our publishers don't take enough time to bring in books and translate them from international countries. And I would really like to see more of that. I would really like to see more of that in the US. Almost everywhere we went, there was like French. These are books in French, but also French authors who have been translated to English. They had authors so there was French authors, there was Spanish authors, there was Japanese authors, German, like all of those countries in Europe. Most of those books are brought in and translated to Greek. And so I just felt like they had, if you read Greek, they had a lot more selection and a lot more access to international authors than I feel like I do in the US, which is kind of sad. So I'd really like to see that change. But while we were in the Greek bookstore, my boyfriend was having the time of his life. He ended up buying a book. So they had, you know how you have ranked books in the bookstore, like the number 1 selling book right now, number 2, number 3, number 4, right? you'll see it like that way at airports and stuff. So they had that in the bookshop, but all Greek books. And he decided, I'm going to check out this book that's the #1 selling book here in Greece that has been translated. And it turns out that it's actually also available in English, not at that bookstore, but I was able to get it at Politia. And so I got it in English and he got it in Greek, and we are going to read it together and have our own little book club. So this book is called Perfection by Vincenzo Latronico, and I believe this is an Italian author. So this is still translated. Yeah, so translated by Sophie Hughes. It is a literary fiction. Basically, I think it's about this couple who appears to have the perfect life on social media and are trying to do all of the millennial things like activism, standing for all of the values that we see in the millennial culture. But they are feeling like it's kind of fruitless. They're feeling kind of empty, like, well, what are we doing? Are we really making a difference? Where's the value in our lives? Perfection being right, like everyone's life looks perfect on social media, but behind closed doors, off of social media, there's a lot of imperfection. So I'm excited to read this book. You can get it here in the US. I did see it on Amazon, but I don't think that it's readily available. Maybe check out Blackwell's if you're interested in that. Okay, the other thing that I picked up was another of Elif Shafik's books, which is The 40 Rules of Love. I've been wanting to read this book, but also I've been looking for this cover. There are so many covers for this book, and this is the one I wanted because it's my favorite, and also because it matches the other books that I have of hers. So sorry, this is, backwards in there, but you can see there's like foiling, and I love the art, and I love like the buildings and the little couple right here. I just love the illustration on the cover, and it matches the other paperbacks in this by this publisher. Yeah, it's by Penguin. So they're all the same size because they come in different sizes, right? And then they all have like some kind of foiled accent, and I have some of her other books that match. So yeah, I was so excited when I saw this. It was the only one on the shelf. I didn't see it anywhere else, so I snagged it. I was very excited. That was at Politia as well. So Politia had a ton of Elif Shafik's books, and I think she is an international author, actually. Let me see. Yeah, so she's actually a Turkish author. I knew that a lot of these books take place in Turkey. Like another one of her books that I read had a lot of history about Greece and Turkey, because they're right by each other. And their cultures are very similar. So anyhow, it's very interesting. But yeah, she's a Turkish author, but she writes in English, even though Turkish is her mother tongue. So yeah, these are not translated, but she is an international author, if that makes sense. Okay, and then this is a book I'd never heard about. I've never seen it in the US, never heard about it. It may be available, I'm not sure, but it really caught my attention. And it is Best of Friends by Camila Shamsi, I think. Okay, this is what the cover looks like. It says, a profound novel about friendship. I loved it to pieces. It's blurbed by Madeline Miller, who wrote Song of Achilles and Circe, which I love Madeline Miller. She's one of my favorite authors. So that obviously caught my attention. But it said, sometimes it was as though the 40 years of friendship between them was just a lesson in the unknowability of other people. So this takes place in Pakistan about friends who had like a traumatic experience in their youth that has haunted them all through their adult lives. I guess we're going back and looking at their 40-year friendship. And I love books about friendship, especially girlfriends, because I have amazing friends that I've had since childhood that, one of my best friends, we've been best friends for 30 years. So I just love these kinds of stories about like platonic love. So really looking forward to reading that. And then again, this is The Humans by Matt Haig, and I have all of his other books. I haven't read this one yet, but in the US, each book was a different publisher. And so they're all different like sizes and styles. It drives me nuts. Like I'm super OCD about my books and I hate when they don't match. And this one is the UK edition, but I could not get my hands on it here in the US, but it's the same like publishing house in the UK and the same size and style as the rest of the books, which I had also ordered through the UK so that I could have them all matching in size. So now I finally have this last book of his that I wanted to add to my collection, and I really want to read it, but the only person that I know that has read it said they like bawled after that book. So given all my life circumstances lately, I haven't been wanting to subject myself to something that might like really rock my world or like make me cry. So I haven't read it yet, but I've heard that it's really beautiful and brilliant, and I'm looking forward to it. And then last but not least, my partner bought me this book as a little gift, a little surprise, also from Politia. So we also went to Public, which is like this big media store. It kind of reminds me of the Borders Books and Music that we used to have in the US. So there's like 4 different levels, and like one level is like all electronics, and the next level is like music, and then the other level is like all books, and they also have a really big selection of English books. I actually didn't end up buying anything from Public this time, but I love going there. They have a great selection. I just bought a lot of books last time I was there from there, and I'd already spent a lot at Politia. But also Politia seems like more of like a smaller, privately owned little bookshop, and I like supporting those independent bookshops. Whereas like Public is like a chain there. They have them in several places. Anyhow, in Politia, they had this little novel of My Neighbor Totoro. And in our family, we love Studio Ghibli, and Totoro is our favorite. If you don't know, my kids are half Japanese. Yeah, our family just loves this movie and loves this story. And I just thought this little book was so cute, and I wanted to read it with my kids. So it has all of these illustrations, and then of course on the front it has Totoro and Mei, and why can I not think of her sister right now? And they are eating cookies. It's so cute. Anyway, so he surprised me and like snuck this in and then gave it to me later, and I'm so happy to have it. So thanks, babe. Okay, you guys, that is it. I hope you enjoyed this little Athens Bookish vlog. I am home now. It's been kind of crazy because I had to have this little procedure done after I got home, and then my kids just started school. Today was the first day of school. I've been recovering, but yeah, I'm kind of getting back into the routine. Looking forward to getting some of these videos and vlogs uploaded for you all. So if you are new here, make sure you subscribe. Leave me a comment down below and like it if you like it. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!